Hey there, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are unpacking a really beautiful story today. It's sourced from a classic Telugu narrative, and it's all about growth, community impact, and honestly, the hidden power of just giving things a little bit of time. We're calling this one the seed of patience and perseverance. Okay, let's dive right into this with a pretty massive question. How can one small seed change an entire village? On the surface, that sounds, well, mathematically impossible, right? You've got one tiny speck of matter versus a whole community. But as we explore this source material today, you're going to see that this isn't just a story about gardening. It's a really profound look at human potential, the habits we build, and the legacy we leave behind. To answer that question, we need to start at the very beginning. Section 1, the tiny seed given by Grandpa. So, our story focuses on a young boy named Ravi. And Ravi wasn't just your average kid playing in the dirt. The text makes it clear that he had a deep, genuine love for growing plants. He spent his days meticulously tending to this little garden right in front of his house. This establishes who he is right out of the gate. He's someone who already finds a lot of joy in nurturing life and putting in the actual physical work. Recognizing this passion, Ravi's grandfather gives him a single, small seed. And it comes with very specific instructions. He tells him, plant this with love, water it daily, and take care of it. One day it will teach you a great lesson. Notice how Grandpa frames this up. He doesn't just hand the kid a chore, he promises a really profound life lesson. But he makes Ravi work for it first. But of course, as with any journey of real growth, things do not happen instantly. Let's move into our next chapter, waiting and disappointment. Day 1, it's fantastic. Ravi plants the seed with absolute joy. He's out there meticulously watering the soil, pulling out the weeds. But then, fast forward to week 1, and nothing happens. Nothing at all. It's what productivity experts like to call the valley of disappointment. It's that classic struggle where you put in a ton of effort and see literally zero immediate return. And to make matters worse, as time drags on, he actually starts facing mockery. This creates a perfect storm of internal and external conflict. We have his friend Arjun stepping in, representing absolute cynicism. He's laughing at Ravi, saying, "What will happen from such a small seed? You're wasting your time." And let's be honest, we've all had an Arjun in our lives, right? That little voice of doubt when we're trying something new. But Ravi, he anchors himself to his grandpa's wisdom. Good work requires patience. At this critical crossroads, Ravi actively chooses to trust the process instead of listening to the criticism. And because he chooses to push through that doubt, everything is about to change. Let's hit the emotional turning point of this story, the green sprout born of patience. After days of just unwavering care, the dry soil finally cracks. A tiny, fragile little green sprout breaks through to the surface. It's that sheer, boundless joy of seeing your silent hard work finally pay off. Ravi's dedication never wavered, and as the days pass, he just keeps right on protecting and watering that sprout. It grows into a sturdy plant, and eventually into a beautiful, towering tree. Now, let's shift our perspective a bit. Let's look at the grown tree and everyone's joy. What started as Ravi's kind of lonely, personal journey of patience suddenly blossoms into something that impacts the entire world around him. Because he didn't give up on that one tiny seed, the ripple effects are actually staggering. Children in the village now have this cool shade to play under. Birds are flying in, building their nests, bringing life and song to the branches. Weary travelers passing through during the sweltering summer heat finally have a peaceful, shaded spot to just stop and rest. Even the villagers who completely ignored the dirt patch before totally changed their tune, praising his effort. This single act of patience literally created a self-sustaining ecosystem for kids, animals, and travelers alike. But incredibly, the story doesn't stop with just one tree. Let's zoom out from Ravi's front yard to the macro focus of a sprawling, vibrant community. Here is a green village, a big change. Talk about a domino effect. First, Ravi realizes his own agency. He sees what he can do, so he starts planting new trees every single year. Then his friends, maybe even the skeptical Arjun, they see the joy and the actual utility of his work, and they adopt the habit themselves. Fast forward a few years, and the entire village is completely transformed. It goes from just another village to being beautifully green, cool, and inviting. The villagers are now totally united under the shared purpose to protect the nature they've built together. Which brings us to the final analytical phase of our explainer today. Let's explicitly lay out the core lesson: great success through perseverance. Grandpa returns at the end of the narrative with this absolutely beautiful summary. He says, "A small seed needs time, care, and patience to become a big tree. In life, you must work hard and never rush to achieve success." It's honestly a masterclass in teaching. He ties the physical, biological growth of that tree directly to Ravi's personal growth. He's confirming that real, sustainable, long-term success, it is never an overnight phenomenon. So, to achieve anything great, what do you actually need? Well, first, you need the patience to wait for results when everything in front of you just looks like dirt. Second, you need the habit of hard work, waking up every single day to do the unglamorous stuff, like pulling weeds. And third, the perseverance to silence both your own inner critic and the external cynics around you. This source material proves that love, patience, and persistence really do compound over time, making any small good deed incredibly valuable. After analyzing this incredibly inspiring framework for success, I want to leave you all with a provocative thought to chew on. What small good deed will you plant today? You might face your own week of empty soil, for sure, but with daily care, a little patience, and a whole lot of heart, you just might change your entire village. Thanks so much for exploring this story with me today, and hey, keep planting those seeds.